Everybody, it's Dr. Kim back with you this week and my new mug. I keep going to the Wedge co-op and they have these great holiday mugs. And for those of you who listened to my last video, know that the holidays can be a little bittersweet for me. Anyway, I keep turning this mug around because I like it so much. I have another one with reindeer at home. So thanks for all the feedback on the last video. Sounds like a lot of you could relate to some of the things that I was speaking of. I'm going to put my little mug down here, which I have this mushroom coffee and teas. How many of you drink that? I go back and forth between getting into it and not. If you've tried the mushroom coffees and teas and have had good results, let me know. Comment below because I want to know. Alright, so I'm here to help us navigate through the holidays. Sometimes I talk about those things that are uncomfortable. My friend Paul always said that to me. Kim, you always talk about those uncomfortable things that nobody else wants to talk about. I guess that's why I'm here. My mother really doesn't like that about me. She doesn't like to talk about anything uncomfortable. So maybe that's why we have a challenge getting along. So guess what? I went like down and out with the flu for 3 days. And it was interesting. After Thanksgiving, I was really struggling with some things that got kind of triggered in me with the holidays and with my mom. I have a really difficult relationship with my mom. Maybe some of you can relate out there. And I got real sad and I got real down with some of the things that are going on there. And I could feel it, and I had another conflict with a family, and I could feel my energy kind of going down. And I want to talk a little bit about the flu because, you know, people always call me and say, I don't want to come in because I have the flu and they don't want to spread the germs. Well, guess what, people? Like, the germs are everywhere all the time. All the time. I certainly, if people come in, they're sick, I give the table like a total wipe down. But it is the state of the host that is so important. And it really makes me angry when adults blame children for getting them sick. Because in our family, we have only, in 12 years of having a kid, we have only all gone down with the same thing once. Now, people think, well, if you're exposed to this germ, you're going to get what it is. And that's not true. I am exposed to germs all the time. I touch people's bodies. I have not been sick in 2 years. And why I think is because really it's the state of us that's the most important. There's a woman called Candace Pert, and she wrote a book called Molecules of Emotion. And one of the things she wrote about was on our cells we have these receptors. And when we're happy, the receptor that binds with the rhinovirus or the common cold is full. It's a happy molecule. Like, there are molecules of our emotion. When we're not happy, that receptor is open and can then bind with the rhinovirus. So our emotional state makes a difference. And I knew I was really not feeling great emotionally. I started getting a scratchy throat. I took last Tuesday off, like last Tuesday, and then I took half a Wednesday off, and still going on. By Saturday afternoon, like, I was like, I gotta go to bed. And I just went down for 3 days. I spent 3 days in bed with fever, watching Grace and Frankie. Is that it? Yeah, Grace and Frankie, which that show is hysterical. And my coach, Sean Dill, finally said, you need to, like, go down completely. And I did. And I was drinking water with lemon and honey, and my family was juicing. My daughter and husband were making me juices. And I'll tell you, by yesterday, my fever broke on Tuesday, I think because I had finished all the seasons of Grace and Frankie. My mind knew there was nothing else I wanted to watch. No. But I woke up Tuesday, I felt great, was in the office yesterday, and I felt like cleansed. It was like, I need that. You know, I knew that I was run down. I knew that I was tired. I was partying a little too much. My friend Paul's 50th birthday party. I was in Chicago with Tristan, hanging out with him, and I knew I needed a break. So rather than fighting it, ultimately, I just decided to embrace it. And why is the holidays like the time when people get sick? My friend Chris has a sign at his office. I don't know what I did with it, but like I think it was like New Year's Day is the highest incidence of heart attack, something like that. This is a hard time of year, people. Like, it's okay to admit it. I saw somebody by Barnes & Noble the other day, and she's like, "Oh, are you enjoying the holiday cheer and festivity?" And I just looked at her. I said, "No, I'm not." And she just got this look on her face like I had just burst her bubble. And now I'll be the first to admit I can be a negative Nelly. I am learning to be a little more positive in my life. But, like, it's okay. And if somebody's having a hard time with the holidays, it's okay. And if you're not, that's okay too. I know people that love it and embrace it. And honestly, the more I've just been okay with the parts of it that feel shitty to me, the more I'm finding the places of joy. We put up our tree in our house, and it really turned out nice. And I remembered that I really liked that. I remembered our tree when I was like 6 or 7. the like 70s shag rug. I think it was like green and yellow and some other pukey color in there. And I remember the presents under the tree, and I remember wrapping presents with my mom. So sometimes we need to go into the darkness to come back out to the light. And I saw this mug, and I remembered, where's the ballerina? I remember when my mom took me to see the Nutcracker at, God, what's that? I grew up in New York City. So the famous ballet in New York City. She took me, and I remember I was so bored, and I had this sweater tie that I kept hanging over my head and stretching, and the guy behind me was so annoyed. But I do remember my mom taking me there, and I so appreciated it, even though part of my little kid being was bored to tears. And I remember watching holiday videos, and, well, they weren't videos, they were on TV, and the little heat miser. So for me, it's been finding my way through the stress of the holidays and the sad times and the sad memories, and then also finding the places of joy. I had a little girl in my office today, and she was talking about how she was feeling like she had lost a little glitter in her soul. And it wasn't related to the holidays at all, but sometimes we do lose a little glitter in our soul. Sometimes we don't feel like we have any glitter. And what I want to help people know is, like, the range of human experience is okay. And we don't want to get stuck in it. There have been times I've said things about pains in my past where I'm like, Jesus, like, I need to never say that again. At some point we do have to move on. And it's okay to feel sad, and if we're really present with how we're feeling, it will move through us quickly. Instead of being in judgment, I should or shouldn't feel this way, I talked to this little girl about how we have times of joy and we have times of sadness. And those times of sadness and pain actually teach us about what we need to learn and change in our life. So, wow, I just went off on, I didn't mean to talk for so long, but I guess that's what needed to come out today. So I am heading to Mexico on Saturday for a week vacation with my family, and I will be back here before the New Year. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. I love you all. I'm thinking about you. Please comment below. Let me know how you're doing. Bye-bye.